And we're back. What's going on, Dre?
Hey, Mr. Man, how you doing?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. I can't complain. How's your week been, man?
My week has been intense. There's a
Mm.
lot. There's been so much work.
Mm-hmm.
Work, 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 work.
Work, 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 work.
So, but good, good, good. I feel blessed and honored that I get to do this and challenge people and push folks into these spaces. Um, Around giving talks about anti-racism, trying to convince people that that racism is a real thing,
Mm.
all of it, and also adjusting to a new house,
Yes, sir.
up and building a home. It's no small thing. Oh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of flipping work. How about you? How's your week been?
Well, first and foremost, hats off to you, brother, because I've seen all the work you've been putting into that crib. First and foremost, I don't know if folks know, but your boy, this guy over here, he is over here alphabetizing books, really putting, my man got a library for real, everything except the Dewey Decimal System. Although he might have it. I don't know. He might have it. He might have those little cards in the catalog in his drawer. I don't know. Sign it out. But yeah, man, hats off to you for all the work that you're putting in. But for me, just busy being back at work in person. Those situations where folks just drop by your office. Those situations where you're just trying to go walk to maybe go to the restroom or grab a cup of coffee, whatever the case may be. It's like folks need to talk to you. So it's real again. And
Are folks keeping their distance?
folks keeping their distance. Folks keeping their distance. We masking up, mask life. Speaking of which, I'm upset.
Uh-oh.
I'm upset because everybody else knows too that I had to trim the beard to grow it back stronger than ever. And that was good. I got the little stuff from Amanda got me some stuff, some beard balm from my beard, and it was coming back all luscious, looking good, right? But this mask life is like, it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because it allows my mask to stay centered where it needs to be because of the friction the beard creates. It's almost like a little bump stop. However, it doesn't allow my beard to grow to its fullest potential because it stifles its oxygen. It puts a nice little rim around here to the point where I have to start combing and picking it out. It just doesn't work. I might start getting split ends, brother. It's tough out here in these streets. I need a mask that's going to work for me. Not only keep me safe, but keep me flying fresh, brother.
As we exist in an entrepreneur space, I think you just identified something that you need to create.
It's a need.
Mubu. Masks for us and by us. Mufubu. It's my Mufubu. Come on.
Mufubu.
Mufubu. I love it. I mean, because it's not all masks are made the same. Truth be told, and that notion of crushing the beard and blocking things down, that's like when you put a tarp over the grass ain't gonna grow.
Absolutely. And the folks out here in the CDC talking about, we recommend you trim your facial hair. No.
They say that.
Stop it. Yeah, over here talking about, if you have a beard, you can trim your beard. No, how about you make better masks?
And how about open up? That's whatever. That's inconsistent with like, don't go to the barber shop. Some of us need the barbers working out beards, but it's there's no compass for our direction forward in all of this.
No, sir. No, sir. So all I'm saying is I'm out here struggling. Now, I can't say that I can identify with our sisters who go natural because my struggle is not that struggle.
No.
I would never, ever say that my struggle is that struggle. All I'm saying is that I feel an inkling of what y'all go through because this don't be working sometimes. It's rough. That's all. No, rant over.
Rant. You're entitled. I welcome the rant. I asked you how you were, and you told me how you were.
This is the barbershop, right?
Hey. Exactly.
Oh, goodness. So I see you got melanin popping over there. What's going on, brother?
I had to show #melanin, make sure people remember. As you pointed out, this was my premier top Premier T-shirt, Premier sharing, Premier message. It's so very clear. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I love this little shirt. My little Dayanu clothing line. The
Yes,
little
sir.
thing. It's fine. It's simple. It does the job.
Yes, sir. That was a glorious day back in April.
Oh, it was.
A glorious day.
That was April.
Yes, that was April, yo.
Woo! Wow.
We in these streets.
We are
You
running
know?
the streets. What you rocking?
Old Faithful. You know I got the black version and the red version, but the flag remains the same. UNIA, Independence flag, Liberation flag. Whatever way you want to slice it, dice it, splice it. It's what it is.
Give us free.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So what you sipping on today?
Well, I had to bring it back to the rock.
Hey now. Rock.
And I ain't gonna lie, it's a mixture of I'm still unpacking, and there's 2 boxes labeled liquor. And I opened up one, tons of paper, and I had dealt with, just like, now you know what? This is the first I was grabbing and filling the pack. I was like, I recognize the shape of that bottle.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me happy. So I pulled out the Hill Rock.
That's real life, man. That's real life. I hear you. How
about you? What you got?
I have to polish off a bottle that's been on there for a little bit. That's made a few appearances.
Oh, license day. You never let key, the optical illusion with the key.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
I'm trying to grab it. I can't get it. I can't get it.
Yes, illusion. Sir. So the larceny barrel proof is back in the house. There we go. No bass.
Really, I was going to say, yours had a little bass. Mine was a tenor.
There we go.
Enjoy yourself. Treat yourself.
All right. Woo. You got anything on your mind to toast to, good brother?
You know how the saints say, I'm glad to have breath in my body this morning. I think I'll toast that. Just being here. We got up this morning. I had this past weekend. I had to attend the homegoing service of a lady. When you go up at church, all the old ladies, your girlfriends. One of my girlfriends, Christine Fountain. She was 100. This past August. And she's been there. I've known her all my life, and so she was gone. But she was one of those ones to stand up and say, I just want to thank and praise God for having breath in my body.
Amen.
So I want to toast to that, having breath in our bodies and being here.
Love it.
Tomorrow ain't promised. Woo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Hello.
Woo.
Yes, good stuff. I know, right? Gotta massage it down.
Myself together. Excuse me. Make me want to stretch.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Woo. All right. So, brother, I know you out here in these streets teaching people how to be anti-racist. You out here in these streets letting folks know that racism is real. And you out here in these streets feeding the proverbial block the wisdom they need in order to move forward in a positive way. So I ask you, sir, in these times when it seems like, tomorrow might not be a brighter day, in these times when you see a lot of distractions, how you feel about football season returning, good brother?
I went, now that I'm in a neighborhood, I spent the afternoon watching the Eagles play the Washington team,
mm-hmm.
And, it's the camaraderie, the hangout when you watch a game, all of it. I'm excited for a return to normalcy to an extent. Somebody made the joke that, like, this might be the Super Bowl because everybody might get COVID and it's over. Oh,
dang.
this might be the Super Bowl. So live in that. And I was like, dang, that could be kind of true. So I'm happy it's back, you know. And as you with your introduction, you broke down what I spend my daytime doing, trying to focus and get people to act right and think right and be right and live right in the face of our history that is racist. Of course, we saw some activities. It's kind of amazing to watch these games and see the field. One side says Black Lives Matter, other side says it all starts with us. You know, it's like, oh, y'all, is this, and my mind went to like, is this because you'll make more money or do you really believe this? Or does your players just make the demand and don't matter because the message is out there and maybe a little black girl will see it and go like, wow, I'm seeing, I've heard, my thing is important. Or some other person that's not black will challenge themselves and turn things around. So, you know, I'm hopeful that this could be a return to yesterday and what we were, you know, and people seem to dig into it, but, you know, people are already acting out. And acting out. I think you may be able to tell us about a certain situation in front of the one game last week.
Smurfly, as they say. Couple of things. One, I'm not ever going to, as a young kid say these days, I'm not ever going to hold you. No cap, which means I'm not lying or BSing, right? I love the fall. I love the fall season for a number of different reasons. One, starts to get cooler. Fashion game could get up, you know, have little sweaters, hoodies, you know. You get the apple ciders, you know, some folks might like the pumpkin spice lattes, you know, they might like that. Some folks.
Bless their hearts.
You know, and then you start getting things such as, you know, Thanksgiving comes up, you got the sweet potato pie or pumpkin. And, you know, I love brown juice, but I also love me some good beer. So you have Oktoberfest, you have some of the pumpkin seasonals that come out. You know, Amanda and I, we know we dabble, we experiment, we see which ones are good. When we go out, we used to go out for date nights and everything, you know, pre-Rona, you know, you get the picture, you share, etc. I love the fall. I really do love the fall. And with the fall comes postseason baseball and comes the start of football. I love me some football. I really do. I played football in high school all 4 years. Got a late start because I didn't start playing Pop Warner football until 8th grade. It's the first time I really started playing sports. But I played all 4 years in high school. I love me some football. I understand its complexities. I understand the fact that it's dangerous. I understand all of that. But I love me some football. So with football coming back, you know, I think it's a good thing because like sports in general, it brings a multitude of people from different walks of life and lived experiences together. Now, that doesn't mean you're having these deep conversations where you're unpacking things, wrestling with things, and really trying to change things, but it does bring folks together, and maybe that might be an entrance to these conversations. So the way that I feel about it is that it's back to business as usual, so to speak, just with a little bit different decoration, different decor. You know, there's been plenty of times where a lot of sports teams and, you know, leagues have done a number of different things trying to say, hey, we're woke, or hey, we support these causes, etc. I know football always, the breast cancer awareness, they're wearing pink, you know, they support the veterans, they got on the camouflage and fatigue, but what's the extent of what you're really doing to make sure you can make a difference or an impact? Is it substantive? Is it transformative? Or is it just simply performative? So what I'm seeing right now is that
lots of tips.
A lot of tips. And I'm positive that what's going on in this situation is a mixture of, you know, you got these higher ups who are saying, oh, wow, let's actually do these things. But is it about dollar or cents, or is it really about you have a change of heart? Because 4 years ago in 2016, when Colin Kaepernick took a knee, first he sat down, then he took a knee, right? Nobody was really checking for him. It was an issue. He's still out of work. He doesn't have a job. But now all these things are being embraced to the point where they're talking about, let's sing the Black national anthem as well.
I know
All these things.
Did they have that? Did they have that?
Yeah, they're like, we're gonna sing "Lift Every Voice." Okay, so
At the football game?
yes,
Yes.
I was like, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. Saying we're gonna do all these things.
Yes.
So what we saw on opening night, if I'm not mistaken, was the Kansas City Chiefs and the Houston Texans, and all of them in a showing of solidarity linked arms, and I think they stood for both of the national anthems, the national anthem and the Black national anthem, if I'm not mistaken. And they linked arms together, teams across, quarterbacks, everybody together, and the fans started booing. The fans started booing. And as one commentator or analyst said, who was a former football player, Ryan Clark, he said, listen, this just goes to show that this was never about the flag. This was never about the anthem. They're booing because folks are in solidarity. He said they're booing because what folks are standing up for are the rights of Black people, the rights of Black folks to say that, yes, their lives matter, our lives matter, and that things need to change to reflect the fact that if we say that those lives matter, our lives matter, then we should not be doing X, Y, and Z. He said it's interesting because when folks unite for breast cancer awareness, for veterans, for all these other issues and causes, there's no booing. But it just so happened to be no one was kneeling, no one sat down. They were locked in arms, standing together, and there were still boos. So, it's. I think folks always talk about football being an American sport. Many other parts of the country, they just football, and we say soccer, where the rest of the world knows that football is really what we call soccer. This is American football, right? So I think it's really a microcosm of us as a nation. Folks said to LeBron James, I think it was Kellyanne Conway, I believe that was her, who was like, shut up and dribble.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, yeah. So now y'all just want folks to just play, perform, entertain. Don't be a person who's attached to other things. So, I'm interested to see, I don't know. I know it's just a lot of things that bother me because I thought we were at a moment with the NBA when you had the egregious shooting of Jacob Blake, right? We had that situation and NBA players boycotted and they said, we're not playing. I thought we were about to shut things down. I'm like, here we go, y'all. But the playoffs are still happening. And the finals is getting set. So it was promising for a snapshot. But here we are again. And it's back to business as usual. And folks keep getting killed, harassed, abused, violated. So it's a mixed emotions because I love the game and I want those folks to be employed too. However, it's just problematic. And that's a long response about some things that just, it's messy. It's messy.
Yeah. It is. It may have felt like a long response, but it felt like a very good and positive and smart response. Because I really do believe that I use this. I've been saying this in my conversations that I've been leading and facilitating and dialogues. We are trying to undo locally 400 years of work and training and existence, and globally centuries of beliefs that have been linked to keeping people that have dark skin, Black skin down. All been about power and control and keeping folks from having access. And whenever we don't check it, we perpetuate it. And it is very strong and it's very successful. It is thriving. It is thriving in our global society. And without it truly being challenged or checked, it will continue on in a grand and powerful and imbalanced and frightening way. So, yeah. So I am what you're talking about. You ain't whistling Dixie. You were speaking some truth here, and I respect it. I think that it does come down to when all the corporate documents and statements coming out and our rebroadcasting our DEI position and hiring of people, putting folks in place, I was like, oh, this is really nice, but what kind of change are you making? Where is the change? Wherein lies the actual change and improvement of the experience and the situation of people who are excluded or kept out or controlled or challenged and unwelcomed to have equal participation in our American society? Like, it's very real. It's so simple. And you look at it and go, there's a problem. There's a problem right there. Are we going to work and turn and change that around, or are we going to stay with it as we know it? Yeah, it's 1010, as the kids would say.
Yeah, and I like the way that you framed it too, because similar to what you've been saying, I've been saying that we have to do two things at once. We have to divest and invest. So we have to divest from the things that, or another word for it would be unlearning. But we have to divest from the things that have been negative, have been toxic, have not been allowing us to be the best humans we can possibly be. And we have to invest in what allows us to be the best humans we could possibly be. And the thing that I've been wrestling with a lot is really thinking about, how do we dismantle and build at the same time? How do we resist and also heal and develop and love at the same time? And sometimes there are things that get in the way. Sometimes there are folks who show without a shadow of a doubt they do not care and they do not want to be a part of the solution. They're happy with being a part of the problem because they don't see it as a problem.
Right.
They see it as a way of life.
Right.
And they see us, those folks who are trying to change that, challenge that, disrupt that, dismantle that, as being the problem. So it's heavy work. And I think that particularly in this season, as you very well know, with all the things that you do, it's work that is urgent. It's always been urgent, but now more and more folks are thinking that it's urgent. It reminds me of when I was in college counseling, and one of my supervisors or one of my mentors was like, you have to let folks know that whatever other folks do doesn't make it a crisis on your end. So in the sense of, because you haven't been paying attention for the longest time, because you haven't been doing your work, because you are a day away from the deadline and you should have been doing this work because you knew this deadline was coming, is not automatically a crisis for me now. And I feel like we're in a moment where so many folks might be tapping us, shaking us, saying, help, we're in danger, we're in trouble. We've been trying to tell you about this deadline coming up for the longest time, and you're just now seeing it now, and now you're pressing me. What are you going to do about it?
Right.
How are you going to solve this problem that you got yourself into?
Right. And even I'll expand upon that, or amplify it and say that we've been warning you to change your behavior to avoid some of what we're seeing right now. We've been warning you, change your behavior so we can avoid what is coming down the pipeline, and that wasn't responded well to. It's incredible. It's really like, I found myself so hopeful and so upset at the same time.
Wow. Yep.
Like, wow, people are engaged in this dialogue. Darn, I've been saying this for 10 years, and I've been trying to keep us from getting to this horrible spot that we're in. To try and prevent, like, when I talk to people, I'm saying, when I talk to you, I'm trying to prevent murders. I'm trying to prevent loss of life. I'm trying to prevent inequity. I'm trying to prevent massive incarceration. I'm trying to prevent massive inequities. I'm trying to prevent little boys and girls from feeling like they matter. Feel like they don't matter, I should say. Trying to prevent the moment where they feel like they don't matter. Like, that's the work. That's what this is about. And to see people push back on that, I was listening to the other day, people talking about, if you get a chance, I highly recommend rewatching 13th.
Okay.
I'm giving a talk on Tuesday night to a group of people, got to lecture them on what anti-racism is. And their assignment was listen to this talk by Ibram X. Kendi and watch 13th. And when it came on, I watched it. Like, oh, day one. And I just rewatched it and I was like, wow, this is even more powerful now because there was, there's some discussion of like, this has happened or that has happened, or we're going to end up here. And we are right there where we were warned. And the thought was also maybe where we are had to happen. It had to be because we were trying to take apart and deconstruct something so major. And just a peeling back of like what's here and what's real and what's right in front of us, right, which is directly a part of our existence. We don't do that. We're going to stay up in these major problems, like stay up in them and be struggling under them. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
And me just listening to you, oh my goodness, I'm having so many thoughts and feelings just run through because I feel you, man. I feel you. And it reminds me of the politics that folks often say in politics, there's a strategy of delay until death. So I know there's a lot of folks who are delaying, distracting, and disrupting, not for the ways to actually dismantle these systems of injustice and inequities, but to make sure that folks are barred from attacking those things that need to be disrupted and dismantled in order to give everyone liberation. And there's a lot of folks who are in positions of power and privilege who do not allow us to do the work that we try to do on a daily basis, because it's a direct threat to their existence, or at least how they have existed. And I was given a presentation and it was about equity, justice, and engagement because, I think that's where I'm really pushing people to really understand. It's not just about diversity and inclusion. I think that's something that's
important, but yeah.
It's really about equity, justice, and the engagement piece is very important because a lot of folks, they might just ride the coattails of someone else and say, look, we're doing the work. No, we're not doing the work. A few of us are, and you're riding the coattails and you haven't really actually engaged in that work. But one of the slides I put up a picture of Breonna Taylor and I put up a picture of Jacob Blake. And I said, what program, what curriculum, what can we design to make sure that these situations do not happen again? If we are an educational institution, what are the things that we can do as an educational institution to ensure that these situations do not happen again? Is that even possible? Or is it fleeting at best? So what is our challenge? Let's make it very, very clear and very plain. Like you said, we're trying to prevent murders. We're trying to make sure that these things do not happen again because they happen frequently, and we're trying to end it. So if it's not about that, then we need to revisit what we're doing.
Yeah, it's interesting. My heart is really heavy just thinking about this because I do think about the people who push back on it, who say, well, there's nothing really wrong. And I just want to feel safe. And I'm going to vote for this law and order president because he's talking about safety. And I don't want what we see in terms of the protests coming to my little community because my community is safe and quiet. And that language is wrapped up in so much that people can't even see and understand. And that concerns me so deeply because it's like you, by your existence, are perpetuating the problem. And when I'm trying to communicate to you that your existence is part of the problem, your existence as it was designed, structured, and set up is what keeps us from, I like to say, reaching justice for everybody, as you say. I love when you say that. You're trying to get justice for everybody. And I think that's a really powerful note to give to people. Yeah.
And it's like, what I want to see, the same way folks get excited about their sports teams, the same way folks get excited and make plans weekly, and in some cases daily, to sit around the TV together, break bread, have some brown juice or brew, whatever, and root for a team, engage, talk. Can we do that same thing? Invest. Can we do that same thing for the work that we're talking about doing? I want to see it.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? I want to see it too. Mm.
So if folks boo NFL players for locking arms, standing up during the national anthem, Black national anthem, locking arms, period. Like, I don't, I have words, but they're not good ones for that type of behavior. But it's like, wow, you are showing your whole, as they say, you are showing your whole blank right now.
You broke up your whole what?
You're showing your whole blank right now.
Exactly.
You're showing your whole blank. And it's like, come on, y'all. Come on. So I hope that we can be real and honest with ourselves and understand that the way that folks feel threatened right now, the way that some folks of power and privilege feel uncomfortable, uncertain about tomorrow, let alone next year, this is how many others have been living their entire life and more. So I hope we can understand that.
Yeah, and those people that, you know, I'm just thinking of people who I interact with, who I counter, who say like, this is making certain people too uncomfortable. You need to tone it back a little bit. And it's like, I had one moment where one group was saying, maybe we shouldn't use this language because this feels too intense. I say, you know what? This is the 1776 moment. What you mean by that? I was like, when the brothers, the fathers, the four founders were sitting together writing the Constitution, they had a moment where a number of delegates stepped forward and said, let's take out this slavery thing because this is wrong, it's morally corrupt, and it's we don't really need it in our society. And the Southern gentlemen like, hold, because they were looking at the destruction of their society. And they said, we can't do this because this will mean the collapse of America. And it's too hard. And I've been as possible like, whoa, this will mean people will quit, we'll leave our company, we'll have financial struggles and strains. I'm like, you know what? That's what I deal with every day. So let 4 or 5 people leave because you're asking for everyone to have an equal opportunity. Peace.
Exactly.
People that want to go. God bless. God bless you. My grandmother would say it, you know, the Southern, and this is the white version of it, the Southern, like, bless your heart. My grandmother would say, well, God bless you and heaven smile upon you. You heard her say that to you. I was like, oh, she's done with you. She's done. She is done with you. Like, God bless them and heaven smile upon them. If you don't want to be here because we're talking about equality for people and just the conversation makes you uncomfortable, so we should stop the work, man, listen. Your president stepped forward and banned the discussion of equity and justice and progressive work for any government entity. Talking about any
anti-American.
Exactly. It's like that is a power move. Like that reflects all of it. When I heard that, I saw people like, oh, they come for. Like, no, you know what? He has opened up doors for me. Thank you for saying that and being so foolish.
And you know what's crazy though? You know what's crazy about that? Because I'm listening to you say that, and I'm reflecting on when I first heard that. He's telling the truth. Doing this work is anti-American. And we should sit and wrestle with that.
Say some more about that.
Why is that anti-American? Why? What is American? When we look at me, when we look at you, are we American? So how's that what define, the next question is, if it's anti-American, what is pro-American?
Exactly.
I want to know. Gloria Cotton, right? What are you pro?
Exactly.
So if you're saying it's anti, you are telling on yourself, sir, and you're telling on America about exactly what is American or deemed American by those folks of power and privilege. So you're absolutely right. And that's why you're banning it. Because the America that folks write about the beauty of what it's supposed to be, folks don't have access to it. So we might be, I remember it was a book that was written about, I want to say it was written about my fraternity at Cornell or somebody like something, but the name of it was called Apart and a Part.
Mm.
So I think when you talk about our existence, we're a part and a part of America, or a part and apart from America. When we talk about these pieces, it might be anti-American because it seems like pro-American means anti-Blackness. So maybe you're telling the truth, and maybe the truth is something that we need to explore a little bit more so, because it's a problem. It's a problem. So telling yourself, telling America, and how do we change that?
Sunday night, I'm trying to sit down. got me all up in work. Got me working. Mind is racing. Like, you got me changing my presentations in my mind. But I appreciate. I say that jokingly, but I appreciate it. That notion of, like, I want to open up a talk and be like, Trump is exactly right.
Yes.
Diversity training is anti-American.
Yes.
Because America is rooted in this, that, and the third.
Yes.
That's good.
Listen. I'll give you another one, brother, because the Holy Spirit be moving through me sometimes.
Look, I'm looking at my pen. Look at my pen.
Sometimes.
I gotta write that down. But go ahead.
And I thought about you. You know why I thought about you? Because we're waiting to hear back whether or not we will be presenting together. And for folks who don't know, we put in a proposal for the People of Color Conference, and it was entitled, "What About Your Friends? Interrogating Whiteness at Quaker Schools."
Did we get it?
Now, we're supposed to find out this week.
Okay.
The time keeps getting pushed back because there's a lot of stuff happening. You know, Rona's real, y'all. Rona's real. So we're supposed to find out this week. And if we don't get it, then, that's just something that's crazy. However, I was thinking about you, brother, because I'm like, listen, I want to do something. And I'm like, I want to do a presentation, and I can do it by myself, but I don't think that would do it justice the way that it could get done. Because I was in a new family orientation, and I was listening to our head of school talk about Quakerism, etc. And it hit me. I said, you know what we need to be doing in these Quaker spaces? And this is what I'm talking about. I'm probably going to write a piece about it, but we should probably do something together.
Gimme.
I said, we are now in a situation where we're moving from George Fox to George Floyd. We're thinking about that moment to that movement of George Fox, from George Fox to George Floyd. What are we going to do, Quaker institutions? What are we going to do, Friends Schools? And I just saw Sitwell Friends partnering with Howard to do some work. And I've been saying this for a little while, back when I was at a couple of other institutions, saying how we need to link up and do some things. But now I'm starting to roll, which I appreciate. But what does that look like? As a Quaker institution, as a Friends School with Quaker values, from George Fox to this moment of 2020 with George Floyd, others too. What does that look like?
George Fox and George Floyd. I wish that, writing that down also. The
Yes, sir.
I wish I had that, because I go to my little Quaker meetings to George Floyd on Sundays, and we had a powerful brother today talking about the need for us as Quakers to think about our role in deconstructing racism and looking at mass incarceration and doing something about it. He was like, this fits into all Quaker morals and practices and ideas and values, just like going in. This gentleman, he's incarcerated for 25 years. Let's pause for a second. And I think about how I could not handle life after being incarcerated for an hour. And this man was incarcerated for 25 years and is out here working. He's running, like he's feeding people. He's like hustling. He's so great. And I listen when they talk. I just sit and listen. It's just like I have so much respect for him. So, but the point he made, he said he wanted this whole talk about how Quakers need to step up and be involved. This fits into our religion. What we talk about, what we do. This is our practice, etc. You know, looking for the good in everybody, and having moral fortitude that makes you stand and look for the light and push for the light.
Mm.
And you know, someone else, a white gentleman, the first gentleman was black. White gentleman said, you know, I'm just concerned that we are pushing into these political spaces, and that's not what Quakerism is about.
Mm.
Man, Karen and them stepped up, and Karen and them was like, hold up.
Mm.
Excuse me, sir, but in a Quakerly way, I just don't know if I agree with that.
Mm.
If we are, this is who we're founded on. We're founded on being outside the system and building new communities and spaces where people feel valued, welcomed, appreciated, and heard. And she went in it, and I was like, I just sat there like this. Because I'm very, when it comes to my meeting, I'm very like, I'm not here to facilitate. I'm here to just be I'm in the audience.
I hear that.
I'm just here to sit in the silence. I could do this and send y'all an invoice, but I'm really right now here just to be amongst it. And also I do my self-care. When it gets too hot, I check out. I'm very like, well, y'all have a good first day. You know, like it was great to sit in the silence, but this is going down a path I don't want to go down. But I did think about that, and this is a gentleman who often speaks about equity and justice and talks about the war and looking for peace. And his response right away was like, yo, I just feel like this is too political. And it was like, how's it political saying, let's treat people good? Let's make people feel welcome, valued, and heard. Let's talk about incarcerated populations and how we need to turn that and change that around. That's exactly what this religion was founded upon, like ease up. But it was a real moment where he really was, and I don't know where he was coming from. I can't begin to imagine or fathom it. But I heard it, I was just like, that pushback seems inconsistent. But I've heard a few people say that like we're becoming too political and not focus on the real issues. It's like, what you talking about? This isn't political. This is human. You know, that this is too political front is a chance, an opportunity folks are taking to check out.
Smoke and mirrors all day.
Yeah, totally. Amazing. It's amazing. Wow.
Well, as you know, we've got work ahead of us. Always.
Yes.
Always.
Yes.
But we also have the power and strength to get it done.
Yes, we do, don't we? Thank you for adding that suffix. You know, we have the power and strength to get it done. We have work ahead of us. Like I'm in class today.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's real. The power and strength to get it done.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you. It's beautiful words.
Likewise, man. Likewise. Honestly, iron sharpens iron, man.
Beautiful words. I appreciate that. It's you know, this is one of those like serious moments in a barbershop. Walk out thinking like, what can I go do? What's my work? What's my challenge? What's my gift? What's my iron that I can use to sharpen some other iron? Or has my iron been sharpened? And now that it's sharpened, how do I go forth? You know, this is real. This is very real. I appreciate you deeply.
Likewise, good brother. Likewise. I think this is something that I need.
Yeah.
I need it. I'm so fortunate. I'm so fortunate to be in this space and share with you.
Yeah. When you said we've been at this since April, I was like, we have? That's amazing.
That's real, man.
That's amazing. And I know myself. I haven't been like, oh, I gotta do this once. You know, I've been like, okay, it's time for I gotta get it together, I gotta clear things out. We've missed one. I had relocated cities.
Yes, sir.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I really appreciate this. I appreciate you.
Likewise. And I think we have a special place, man, in the hearts of many. And from what I hear in the streets, you know, folks are feeling it. Folks are feeling it. They need it. They love it. It's life-giving. I know it's life-giving for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, brother. Listen to this platform, man. To this platform.
For sure. For serious, for sure, for everything. The platform, taking the space. And you know what? We have the power and the strength to get it done.
Yes, sir.
It's great. It's great. Wow. Brown Juice Barbershop does it again.
Does it again. Does it again, man.
We need to require invoices to watch this one.
Right? Right? This one, we should impose this one. This one's gonna be check out our Patreon.
Right. Yo, we need a Brown Juice Patreon.
Yo.
Just Patreon.
Because this is the work, man. It's the work, and this could be something that you just go look at. We can add some prompts, some queries.
Let's save that for after we shut it down, so we can build it out. Everybody, y'all stay tuned. Brown Juice Barbershop.
All right, man. Till next time, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace.
Brown Juice Barbershop. Always beautiful. Thank you, man.
We out.